What up, what up? This your girl, Kiss Calhoun, and we're in the building for another episode of What's the Word? And I'm being joined by the one and only, the legendary Mr. Dijon.
I just love that introduction. I'm just saying. But what's up, everybody? Of course, it's your boy, Dijon, and we are back for another episode of What's the Word?
So today's episode is definitely going to be dedicated for all the trendsetters out there. If you believe you're a trendsetter, this one for you. So sit tight and relax, because we're going to talk about y'all. Okay, since the blow up of social media apps such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, what is your take on all the viral trends that have become popular on social media, and how do you feel about cyber fans and supporters? And do you believe social media has gotten out of hand with all these trends that's coming out? So, of course, I picked this topic because I feel like we living in a world where technology has basically ran its course and embedded into our everyday lives. If you don't wake up early in the morning to grab your phone, then I don't know what to tell you, because that's what social media and trends have done since it became trendful, or to be trendful. So it's like, what's your take on all of these viral because it's like, for me, it's a love-hate thing, because I feel like social media is, with all of these different trends that viral, it's just like, it's really a real life love-hate situation with me, because I just don't, I'm not a leader. I mean, I'm not a follower. Right. So I don't like to do trends just because it's out. Like whenever a new movie come out and there's a real good movie, everybody start a trend or something. Like when Bird Box?
Oh yeah.
When it came out, it was a real good movie, and then like once everybody saw it,
the memes went crazy.
Right. It was like everybody and their mama was doing dumb challenges, like the Bird Box challenge and closing your eyes, doing dumb stuff. Like that was dangerous. A lot of people was getting themselves hurt. Not only, another one that I didn't like was when I don't know who made it go viral, when they was going in supermarkets licking the ice cream.
I was just about to say that one. Like, you know, they just did, they caught somebody spitting in the Arizona tea.
Oh my God. It'll make me,
we was talking about that.
I just want to throw up right now.
Yeah, one of my coworkers said that a Caucasian young man spit in tea, and the spit did not look pleasant. It looked like they had blood in it. That, to me, that is just so nasty, so degrading. The girl that actually licked the ice cream, she could be like facing she could be facing serious time for that.
And she should, because I'm over here trying to hold it.
You about to choke?
No, when you tell, like, I get really disgusted when stuff like that, because that's contact on bodily fluids. Mm-hmm. So when you spitting or you licking on something, it tingled the back of my throat, and like my gag reflexes was about to come on when you said the spit did not look pleasant. I was like trying to hold that sandwich I just ate before the show, because it's about to be up. Okay, but yeah, that's one of the reasons why I don't like the trends that we sell on social media.
Because from what she did, she started a whole thing, and now to me, I don't even want to buy grapes anymore from the grocery store, because you know the grapes are open.
Yeah, anybody can touch them.
I don't even feel comfortable buying that.
I don't like that social media it ran a course on being what's good to do and what's bad to do. It's like it gave followers an extra boost on just following the leader. It's like y'all know it was bad when the first person did it, but now it's like, let's just see how many people gonna go do the same thing over and over. Like that ice cream thing was the one that took me out, not even just the Arizona tea. The one that took me out was when somebody walked, I don't know if it was a transgender or a boy, that just was dressed like a girl or whatever. But he opened the mouthwash. Mm-hmm. He opened the mouthwash, took a drink, did that, and spit it back in, put the top back on, and walked off. And I'm like, bruh, with that.
But they should know not even to sell it because they have like the plastic wraps. No, they don't.
No, they don't. Once you crack open a thing, it's open.
Fuck no.
So it's like
no, some of them do. Some of them do have the plastic things on.
Once the plastic,
I was sitting here thinking about it because I just brought mouthwash the other day.
But
no, they have the plastic things
it's
on.
that bad. It's that bad, and it's like, oh my God, like people, you don't understand that when they say bodily fluids. We can get diseases based off of bodily fluids. Like, y'all don't even know what y'all doing, and y'all just doing it. Like, the girl that did the ice cream thing, she should be punished because she set off a chain reaction of people that started to follow behind her. Not saying that she just wanted them to follow her, but hey, that's what ended up happening, and now she got to be the one to pay the price for it. Not only that, it's just like, it's just too many trends that's been set. That's just the positive ones that need to be set are not set, and the ones that don't need to be out there are the ones that's out there. Like right now, we have a trend full of hot girl, hot boy summer.
Now, see, that one is not.
That's not that bad. That's not bad, but it can be bad.
It can, but what people need to take out of the I hate when that happens when I'm trying to say something and the word do not want to come out.
You want them big words to rest.
Yeah, trying to, But I hate when people take they take it wrong. So she basically explained it to the Shade Room on the red carpet at the BT Awards.
So she
was just like, what she mean by hot girl summer is like just going out, enjoying yourself, enjoying being single, like having fun. And people just taking it out of proportion.
That is just so a generalized summary of what she really wanted to say.
I mean, because what she's doing, she's out drinking, like.
Exactly.
Did you see the video where she was gargling the Hennessy?
But she is also in our top 5 trendsetters.
Of course.
Because she set a trend for the ratchetness. That's what I'm saying. Like, it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. Because for me, I'm not a ratchet person. So when you saying everybody is period this, I say period all the time. Like, people period this. Yeah, let me drive the boat. I'm like, who driving the boat? I'm lost because I'm like, what are y'all talking about?
Don't feel bad because I was like that. I did not understand what driving the boat was. It took our friend to tell us what it means.
What does it mean?
It's something about you basically, somebody's like putting a shot of the alcohol in you and you just consume it as much as you can. So it's like a shot, but it's like a never-ending shot. That's what I got from it.
So you basically about to kill yourself with alcohol. But you see, that's what I'm saying. You have to be mindful of the trends you set because driving a boat, that can cause a lot of deaths. People who may not drink alcohol driving a boat might die of alcoholic poisoning, have to get their stomach pumped or something. I'm not saying Meg just started it, but when you giving out a descriptive way of what it means, and then people go, drive the boat could really mean driving a fucking boat. Like, it ain't gotta mean, I'm saying, drinking alcohol or taking shots to the head of some Fireball, because you'll be dead trying to drink Fireball or Jose Cuervo. It'll burn your tongue before it get anywhere else. But
see, I'm gonna say this with that. To me, especially to our younger, crew, like the early 20s, still in their teens. Mm-hmm. Don't take everything so literally, like,
that's the thing they do.
But also be very cautious and be very, safe when, having a hot girl, hot boy, someone like, know your limits, know what and what not to do, because everything follows you wherever you go.
Right.
So just remember that was a teachable moment on what's the word to our teens and tweens.
And please stop driving the boat, okay? Because some of y'all
if you're going to drive the boat, know your limit with the boat. Don't go too far or your ass going to drown, literally.
And some people just can't do it. But
I saw this girl on Instagram, like, she was so down. No, Twitter, and somebody commented and they said, get off the boat, sis.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. People are not going to be mindful of their limits because you don't want to be a pussy, basically. You don't want to tap out, especially when it comes to drinking.
I'm a tap out. I know my limits. I know I ain't gonna go too far. Once I feel it, I'm like, okay, I'm done.
And that's how it happened. But since we on that wavelength, so how do you feel about like cyber fans and supporters? And do you believe social media has gotten out of hand with the trends? Like, oh well, we kind of a little bit gave
that one.
Like how did it, went out of hand? Sometimes it go out of hand. Sometimes it can be for a good cause, But I feel like, as far as cyber fans and supporters, of course, I like them because if it wouldn't have been for our fans and supporters, our show wouldn't be where it's at. Or people just supporting us in general, listening to us and what we got to say. Because it's so much you got to do and compete with social media right now because everybody's doing it. So I do respect the fans, but this the thing. It's kind of weird to have like people who follow you on the show and then try to follow you in person and then try to like embed themselves into your personal life. And that's what we was just basically talking about like before the show with the whole A$AP Rocky and stuff like that. Like that's like an invasion of personal privacy. And then when these people get beat up, then you paying a price because you just wanted to respect your space. Like it get out of hand. A lot of people have died at the hands of their own fans because they became obsessed with them. A lot of people, Louis Vuitton.
Selena.
Well, Selena is different because she got killed by her own business manager.
But she was a fan also. She started as a fan.
But Louis Vuitton, what is it? Louis Vuitton? Versace. It's not. Versace had no connection to the person that killed him. He just was a random person. And then they had another lady who she was a famous actress, and the man was obsessed with her. She wanted to go on a date. He wanted to go on a date, and she didn't really like him like that. And he found out where she lived, came to the house, and shot her point blank in the head when she opened the door. When you buzz somebody in, she opened the door and he shot her in the head. I forgot the lady's name, but it was on the same show. Versace was listed as the top 25 celebrities that were killed by fans or something. And they got a lot of people, like even presidents that have been shot by people who didn't like them, or politicians of people who've been just watching them. That's the thing. Like when you put yourself out there on social media, you leave yourself open to everything. Just like you can't count Selena in this. It's like she's an artist.
She didn't have any connections to the woman, before.
And she didn't do anything for the ladies who killed her.
Fan club and a business manager, right? She didn't do anything. But like you say, you just have to know how to keep your personal and your professional life separate. That you don't even have to be a celebrity to follow that. That's what you working in a professional setting, especially like case management or anything. You know that it has to be specifically, and it has to be strict professionalism, client, worker relationship. That's it. You should not be drinking, going out, having personal conversations with this person on personal lines, anything, because stuff can happen, and I've seen it happen a lot. It happens all the time. And not only that, it's like adults kind of like, I wouldn't say too much like grown adults, but a lot of, you could say any kind of adult. Some people don't know how to take certain things as it is. You know what I'm saying? Certain people think, you following them because you like them. Or, for example, if a young kid have a crush on, let's put it, Beyonce, and Beyonce follows them,
And they thinking it's Beyonce, the real Beyonce, and it turned out not to be the real Beyonce. That person go off and then try to kill Beyonce because Beyonce broke their heart. And that's mainly why Catfish, the show, came about, is because a lot of people were getting hurt about that. You know, everybody done been a catfish or been catfishing.
You have people you have fans that they get mad if the person doesn't acknowledge them. Beyonce had released like the I Am Sasha Fierce tour DVD, and it had something where she didn't acknowledge her fan, and he didn't like it. He called her, you remember that? He called her a bitch and this and that. I can't believe this and that. But it took her to go back and actually speak to him, and it made him feel better about it. But you saw how he snapped that quick.
And it's like what she did to you to make you snap that quick. It's not that serious. Like
she's trying to run from paparazzi and stuff like that.
Not just celebrities on that large of a scale. I've witnessed the smaller versions, like, for example, Super. Super is still a big name celebrity. She definitely is out there doing things, but they had a business that she did some work with. In the business, I guess she didn't do something. Remember that she saw you because she dealing with her whole memory loss type thing. This person went off on her Instagram talking about this, that, and the other, and she had to go back and tell the person, like, I'm dealing with a certain thing. Like, I didn't remember at the time, but now I remember, and you wrong for that because I really, was supporting you and doing all that. Like, fans, some of y'all need a check, baby.
Too far.
Some of y'all need a check, a blue check.
I'm a part of the. I cannot not talk about this without talking about the Beehive. I'm sorry, I'm a part of the Beehive, but I'm one of them Beehive members that don't take it overboard. How the hell they do? Like, it was the thing with Jay-Z and the wife of some basketball team. The basketball game.
Yeah, I remember.
And
the Warriors,
a lot of people were
playoffs.
Judging the way Beyonce's demeanor and posture was when the lady was talking over her to Jay-Z. They making death threats to this woman and all this and all of that. But y'all don't even know what the conversation is about because you can't even hear what they're talking about. And
just because she looks disgusted doesn't mean she's disgusted with them.
You have to understand that black women
have resting bitch face. Like,
nothing don't even have to be. They could be the most happiest person in the world, but it's all in the face. I'm not a black woman, but trust me, I have resting bitch face. I could be walking around looking mad at the world, but nothing is wrong with me.
Right.
So you can't, judge off of that. It was just too. But that's just one case with her. Like,
there's
so
plenty. Trust me, I've been victim of the Beehive several times. I've been victimized. I'm about to start suing so I can get me a check because how much I've been victimized talking out against anything dealing with Beyonce. I remember one time I had to do a group presentation for school, and we were talking about feminism. And you know how I feel, like, just because you're a female doesn't mean you're a feminist. Like, it's all about doing the work. You know what I'm saying? How people are benefit from the movements and stuff like that. Like, yeah, people may benefit from Beyonce. That's what I was trying to get the girl to understand. Yeah, people may benefit from her, but I won't call her a feminist because it's more detail into it. And the girl just went crazy on me, and I was like, sis, this is my 401k on how I believe that she's not a feminist. You can't just call her a feminist because she writes songs and saying this, that, and the other. She gotta really be going out here and doing the work, and people have to go out there and benefit from the work. And if she not putting out that, then she not that. Like, that's just period. That's all I was trying to say. Period. But she went at my neck talking about this, that, and that. She really made me mad to where I walked my classmate all the way to her class because I was like, man, I had to talk to somebody because it was like she didn't give me my chance to put my point to the test. Like, I wasn't saying that she can't be. I'm just saying she's not one now because of the work that she has to do and stuff like that. And this was way before Beyonce now with all the movement and the blackness and all this was way before she was doing this. This is still Beyonce when she was signed to her daddy. Like her daddy was still her manager. She was not doing none of the stuff that she's doing now. So, and Jay-Z wasn't either. But that's what I said. Like, it's just trendful. And that, speaking of that, I wanted to go into like the top 5 trends, trendful and stuff.
Well, we kind of talked about 2 of them already.
Yeah, Beyonce
and Meg Thee Stallion.
Like, definitely, I put that as number 1, Meg Thee Stallion, because that is definitely the top. Everybody is talking about Meg. She got everybody fiending. And when Coochie Cutters, and let me tell you one time, Meg, Meg can't and should not be wearing the Daisy Dukes, okay? Because this past weekend over Essence, I don't know how many hot girl summers I saw up there, but I did not, and I repeat, I did not want to see all that ass. It was fat women, and I'm not gonna get
she not judging her big girl.
Because I am a big girl. But some of us gotta wear our girdles, and you cannot be wearing Gucci cat cutters all the way to your crack of your ear.
That is horrible. No.
Oh, this lady was wearing one, and I was
out
like, oh my God. I was like, I love your confidence, but you shouldn't have wore those shorts, okay? Meg, you got everybody thinking it's cool to wear their shorts up in their ass. See me, Meg? I gotta wear a girdle. A girdle not gonna look right for a hot girl summer, so that's why I can't be a part of a hot girl wave. I'ma just be a cold girl and stay inside. Cause I can't be a part of a hot girl summer, okay? Number 2 we picked was Lil Duval and this whole black men don't cheat thing. This is why I wanted to talk about this, because I had to put this at number 2 just to get this off my chest, okay? Black men do cheat. They cheat a lot. Like I don't like the fact that everybody was like, yeah, black men. All the black men that cheat is talking about they don't cheat. I'm like, T.I., did you cheat like 5 times already? Like, what is you singing this song for? Like, why is you singing a song? Like, that's what I was talking about. Like, how songs is catchy and trendful.
I'm sorry, my brothers, but
y'all be cheating.
I mean, y'all, because we cheat.
Everybody cheat.
Everybody cheat.
To say they are specific.
Everybody cheat.
In your candy bar. Okay. No, that's not SU.
What it is?
That is
that is.
No, that's not.
Who is it?
That is Candy from What I Need From You.
That's them, huh?
That is Escape.
Oh, Escape.
That's oh my God.
Black Car Revolt. I got my groups mixed up.
I'm taking it.
But I mean, it's just a trendy thing. Like they took it and went with it, and it just went
overboard.
Over the board. Like they had so many scenarios about it. Like especially like on the Greek side, like Kappas don't cheat and Sigmas don't cheat.
And I'm like, y'all the major one.
It was just so crazy.
I'm so over it because it's like, okay, it should be a song out there that say black men don't cheat. It should, and it should be an anthem.
Right, because all black men don't cheat, but
that's so generalized, Lil Duval. You know, y'all are the lead ones to cheat because if y'all wasn't, we wouldn't have so many single households. I will have my daddy in my life if they didn't cheat. If they didn't cheat, I will have my daddy in my life.
And then we have all these
babies, 6 baby mamas,
families.
Yeah.
On other things, and they find out about it at the
y'all don't cheat. Yeah, y'all don't cheat. Y'all just roll stones. But of course, I had to put Beyonce as number 3 because the top 3 is the top worst right there. Because I should have put Beyonce and her fans because it's not so much Beyonce, but it's her fans. Like we said, her fans be wanting you to square up with them, and I be like, girl, I'm not trying to fight you because we in class.
I mean, like we are like. And I'm going to say we are, but like I said, I'm in that very small percentage that is not like overboard when it comes to like people going in her neck. Like I love Beyonce to the fucking beyond earth and infinity space, every damn thing. But I'm not going to come at somebody's neck when they are like saying like some stuff about she's not a feminist and all of this. The only thing that I can do is I can give my take and why I believe she's a feminist. I'm not going to disrespect your opinion, but I'm going to give my opinion.
Right. And in all seriousness though, like Beyonce fans, y'all gotta stop because like y'all so bad, y'all got this girl telling y'all to chill now. Like
her people had to make like
y'all going extreme. Like nobody don't want Jay-Z ugly ass. Like, he's not going nowhere. Trust me, we know where he belongs, sis. Okay. And number 4, no, I want to say I should have put number 4 as number 3 because this whole being woke moment is very trendful, and it's also trendful in the wrong way because so many people want to be woke till they fucking sleep, and it's like y'all asleep. Y'all are so hypocritical to the stuff that y'all say and y'all do. You cannot talk. I call them hoteps. That's what I call them. I call them hoteps because only hoteps would sit there and preach the word and do the complete opposite of what.
It a lot in these preachers,
pastors, you see it a lot of
especially
these
about just anything. But on that, I'm glad you brought that up because about that point, like preaching against homosexuality, and then you have videos going viral across the internet with you having sex with men.
Eddie Long congregation was the strongest congregation of mankind because even after the pictures surfaces of him with boys and having sex with boys, this man still had a strong, solid congregation. And it was like he spoke out against this and he was out here sending pictures to little boys. And it was like, it's crazy, but even in a sense of just, I have friends and that think they woke when I be like, y'all overly woke, like y'all go to sleep. Sometimes it's good for you to know the knowledge, but to go on Instagram and continually post it all day, and have something negative to say about every holiday. Y'all celebrating 4th of July. We don't care. Nobody cares about. I'm letting y'all woke people know right now. Nobody cares about the stuff that happened in the past. I'm telling you they don't. I'm a woke person. I'm telling you I talk to the most dumbest people, the most intellectual people, the most, kindest people. Anybody you talk to, if they don't care about anything in the past, they're going to let you know. And how they feel is how they say it. Because you could go and post all day about how it's good as black people we need to support black-owned businesses when black-owned businesses don't even give the same stuff to people that supporting them, you know what I'm saying? And not all of the black-owned businesses, but the majority of the ones that are out here thinking we just supposed to be supporting them based off of them being a black-owned business. Have nothing to do with just that.
Who says you have to do that because it's a black-owned business?
Because the woke congregation just said that we need to support our own and do all that. And I feel like, yes, we should support our own.
We should, but we should do it on our own, not because somebody's telling us.
Not just that. But our own, in order to support our own have to be professional, on point. Because I can tell you right now, every business that I've done business with has been a black-owned business, and I can tell you the ones that have really. Our AC unit is out right now. I hope they're listening too, because if y'all listening, Yeah, I'm talking about y'all. Our black-owned business, that black-owned business is taking its sweet time to come fix our air conditioning unit. And they've been out here too many times to fix the same air conditioning unit. They come and they go when they want to, and it's making it's putting a bad taste in my mouth towards this particular business. And I don't want to say their name because then they're gonna be talking about we can sue. Well, this is a 1-star rating at this point. I'm giving y'all a 1-star rating, and when I get back, just know the air better be on. Okay. But this being woke is like,
oh my God.
I have to talk about this a little bit because the being woke whole thing is it just put a bad taste on people who actually do their research and just do it because they want to learn more.
Learn about it. They're not boasting about it.
Yes, so many people want to be woke. It's okay if you want to wear dashiki all year round. Do it, but it's also okay if you don't. It's okay to not. Right, it's okay to not want to be a part of that movement, and it's okay to not. Because I'm very woke and I'm very pro-black, but some things on all sides of the spectrum, just outside of people, I'm not going to deal with the bullshit.
Absolutely. To me, I would have to say I agree. Like it's just too much. Like it almost feels like, it's being thrown on us. Like we have to open our eyes about these things and situations and stuff like that. Like why can't we? Like I understand about people helping to teach others about what's going on, and of course we see it, we hear it every day, but for someone to just basically try to downplay us and ridicule us because we aren't keeping our eyes open, well, not even keeping our eyes open, but just not listening to or doing what they say because they woke and we have to listen to them. Like no, like that doesn't go like that.
I don't like that concept though. I feel like
because that's what it seems like it is. And it's like they making you. You gotta listen to what I'm telling you.
Right, you gotta respect that. Black man been held out 400 years, and 400 years we need to. I understand that 400 years we all been left behind. Everybody in general. But that's why I feel like it's mostly of a crab in the bucket mentality that everybody share. Not just one particular race, but every race has that same concept. It's so much stuff that we bring ourselves down for stuff. It is a lot of stuff that each other and the other races pull each other down for my teacher, my sociology teacher told me this. There's only one race of people. And it's the human race.
Exactly.
And for the longest, that been in my mind for the longest, and it just made me realize that being woke too much, sometimes you need to sleep. You need a little nap. You really do.
No, not a little nap. I need about a damn 5-hour nap.
For real. And then the last one is the whole social media meme thing. That's the number 5 trendful thing. Like that's memes is what make you go viral. Without the meme, if you're not turned into a meme, then you're not going viral.
And to me,
I've been a meme several times.
And to me, even with text conversations are not the same if you are not sending a GIF or a meme within that text message. I'm sorry, it don't even feel right.
Right, like you gotta be doing some kind of something. If you get turned into a meme and regular everyday people get turned into a meme, but the only thing is, you really don't get paid for when somebody make a joke about you and you go viral. Like, that's the only thing that I don't kind of like about these memes, because some of these memes go viral and they don't do their research. Like, remember the little baby that was old, had the old face, like, and they put different wigs on the little girl?
Oh, yeah.
She had a condition. Yeah, she had a condition that made her look like that. And I was like, damn, the people who did that, their research and made this shit go viral, didn't do their research, got us making jokes about this little girl?
That's my thing.
And it got me feeling kind of bad because I'm laughing at it.
Like, everything that is put on social media, people they don't try to find a backstory about it. They just go with it and they make jokes about it. And it's like, we laugh at it because it's funny, but we don't really think that this could possibly have like a backstory.
But you know what? Now I don't even make fun of a lot of memes, because the way I'm thinking now is like, you know, I'd be like, damn, are we gonna ever think about how this could hurt somebody's feelings?
Right.
Especially when it's like disabled people. Like, it's hard for me to just be laughing at that, because I be like, I hope they know they didn't became a meme, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want them. It got me thinking more about laughing at stuff than just laugh. Sometimes, you know, especially those, if you scroll past 12,000 years of bad luck, I'll be like, scroll. I just scroll, because I don't even care if we get caught. Like, I don't care at this point. That's the only thing I don't like, because it's like some memes are trying to guilt trip you now.
Yes.
And it's like, damn, if I really was a strong out Christian, I'd be messed up, because I'll be liking every post with Jesus.
Everything about Jesus and all that.
Can't do it. Won't do it. Refuse to do it. But we can go on and on about this topic. But that's why I wanted to do it, because it was just a different kind of flavor. It wasn't something that we could talk for hours. That's so much serious. Because it's like all of our episodes, the first 3 episodes have been really serious. So we're just trying to like loosen it up a little bit, talk to y'all about stuff that we feel is truthful. And if you feel like they got a lot of other stuff truthful, follow us on Instagram. We on Instagram at Yo What's the Word, and we're on Facebook at Yo What's the Word. And you could just, send us memes or something, so we can share it on the page. Or you can send us your 401k about how you feel. Trends are definitely trend-setting. And it's just so much stuff that's being done out here. It just takes a toll on everybody. So if you have any, information to share with us, just shoot us an email at what'stheword504@gmail.com. Or if you're an artist, submit your music to us, because this episode we didn't get to play any music, but we want to start supporting our own local artists from New Orleans and beyond. So just send us email to y'all music, and we definitely will play it on the show. But right now, we're about to dip into some hot poppin' tea, baby. So, DJ, what's the real tea? What's the tea?
We get so hood.
We get hood
with the tea.
When the tea comes, we gotta get hood.
So, our first topic, tea, is coming from the Shade Room, of course. And it has to do with Kamala Harris unveils $100 billion plan to invest in black home ownership. And again, this is coming straight from TMZ. So it states that Senator Kamala Harris has come to the table with a brand new plan in this presidential race. She reportedly plans on investigating in black home ownership. According to Fox News, Senator Harris' plan is an attempt to help close the racial wealth gap in the United States. The California Democrat announced she will have $100 billion accumulated to down payments and closing costs of black communities. The housing program would reportedly be distributed in the form of grants from the Department of Housing and Urban Development. There are some guidelines to the program, though families would not be able to have an annual income higher than $100,000 or $125,000. Well, $125,000. No, I said that right the first time. $125,000 in high-cost areas. The maximum home cost to qualify for the program is capped at $300,000. By taking these steps, we can shrink the wealth gap between black and white households by at least 1/3, Harris said in a speech in New Orleans. But we cannot bring the racial wealth gap just by addressing historic inequalities. Although we must do that, we also have to write the next chapter. Recently, Senator Harris went head-to-head with Vice President Joe Biden during the first Democratic primary debate. Kamal had a lot to say about Joe's work while in the Senate. I do not believe you are racist, and I agree with you when you commit yourself to the importance of finding common ground, Kamal said. It was hurtful to hear you talk about the reputations of two United States senators who built their reputations and careers on segregation of race in this country. Senator Harris may have a long way to go to win over the Democratic vote. However, we know our roommates and their fate, and not in Senator Harris. This plan could be a step in the right decision, but the journey is far from over.
See, my 401k about this is that we've been here and we've done that. We had people and politicians tell us, how you think the projects got built? Because the president said that same exact thing, and guess what it did? Didn't do much. It you know what I'm saying? The average, and then it's like she came out here to New Orleans where the average house, that 4-bedroom house, is over the amount that she's saying. It's like you talking to a group of people who that already are affected by the economy or which you are trying to change. The average American that makes over that amount of money don't even really exist. You have to. Not saying that it's not a good thing, but my ears is burning because we heard that before. We getting tired of hearing about how much y'all gonna stop this deficit and how much you're gonna help black ownership and more. But we used to be black homeowners. The reason why we're not homeowners is because a lot of stuff is just happening, and it had nothing to do with race. It had everything to do with the fact that black people are the most affected by a lot of the stuff that they're talking about. Hurricanes hit New Orleans at a higher rate than California, than New York, and New York get their fair share of hurricanes, but it's not as close as New Orleans, and everybody is affected by those, not just black owners, but white owners, Asian owners, Mexicans, Indians, whatever. So when you're going to talk about this, stop using race to fuel a campaign when we're not the only people that are affected by this. Stop trying to use us to build, and you are us. So to be using us, my thing it's making me shake, John.
My thing is, if anything, if you do become the president, you are the president of the people, not just black people. So I hate when they use us. They use us.
We're gonna help the
minorities and this and that.
Help them, but don't make it about race. Don't make it about that.
But see, my thing is, you know who they try to capture? They try to capture older people that are not really educated and don't really know about this type of stuff. And of course, they try to get people in general that are not educated. So of course, they are going to try to take this party out. Scapegoat the fucking minorities. And I'm sorry that I keep using these curse words. I didn't say that word like 5 times
already. I be trying to,
Since we've been on, I'm sorry because I know it makes it hard for you. To stop out. But
I just said the show's too explicit now.
It makes me mad when they do that stuff. And it's like you pick a weekend of all weekends to talk about a campaign
for
black home ownership. On essence, and not only a predominantly black event.
Right. It's like girl, we should talk about black home ownership, but we shouldn't pick the black events to only talk about it.
You could have talked about that in the debate.
Exactly. You might have would have won.
Instead of sitting there going back and forth trying to call people out on stuff.
Exactly. Stop waiting. Because let me tell you one. The black vote not gonna help nobody win, because if that was the case, Trump would not be in here if our vote counted. Because baby, let me tell you,
Clinton in office right now.
Not even just that, and let me get
Bernie.
Not even just him, Bernie. Let me tell you one thing. If in case you be listening, let me tell you, stop it. Stop trying to get us talking about you gonna stop school debt. Be serious now. Be serious. Stop it. Okay? But give us this little tea about Peter. What Peter done did? What Peter Guns done did? Because he just been trending. Everybody been talking about him on Instagram. What is going on?
So Peter Guns addresses Amina. Of course, y'all know that's his ex-boo. He addresses her new man. Didn't know he was around his daughters, and this is coming from the shade room as
shade.
Well,
the shade is always spilling the tea.
Starts by saying, "Child, the pot thickening, the plot, it thickens." It's definitely the same to describe this tea, roomies. Amina is once again off the market, but this time she is not back with her baby daddy. Amina's new boo is a chocolate fine thing who has been helping her do what she does best, make music. In an Instagram post, Amina shares her boo with the world and announces they will be releasing music. Can't wait for the world to hear all the magic we've created, she said. In true love and hip-hop fashion, however, some of her castmates and her baby daddy came to rain on her parade. Rich Dallas chimes in, commenting a confused face emoji, and Peter Guns followed with some crazy shade. Told me to stay at her place, then tells me she had a boyfriend 3 days later. Either way, cute couple, good music, laugh out loud, Peter says. Amina follows along, at least I told you, better late than never, I always keep it 100. According to Peter though, Amina only kept it 50 with him, and he addresses it on Instagram Live. Turns out Peter's issues with Amina and her man is not personal, but concerns his two beautiful daughters they have together. Peter says he had no knowledge of Amina's man being around his daughters and only found out last week. Things get heated as the couple joins Peter's live to discuss exactly what happened, and unfortunately, things turn into a screaming match. Amina says she's grown and doesn't need to tell Peter when she has a man at her house, and Peter says it's disrespectful to his daughters. What do y'all think? What do you think she tell him? Is Peter wrong for taking a family business to Instagram? Or is Amina wrong for having a man around their daughters? Let's hear.
Let me spill this tea, okay? Because ain't that sound like the pot calling the kettle black? I mean, you had when you got with Amina, you was with Amina when you was with a girl. So for the be, what's her name? Tyra, I think. Tyra, whatever.
Well, I know Amina and Peter Guns.
But what Peter did was way worse than what she's doing. And it's like, it's always a person who do wrong that always want to point out when somebody else doing the same thing that they've been doing the whole time. And it's like this. She is grown. She don't have to tell you what man she got in her life. And I know people gonna be like, well, a woman, but it goes the same way for a man bringing his daughters around multiple women that are not his child's mother, because whether it be man or female, if they don't fucking like the mama, they would hurt. I've seen women hurt their own child because of a man, and I've seen men who are not even person's father, her children. So it don't matter. You can't, as long as that person coming to you correct and as a man and being respectable around your children, you shouldn't have a problem. And it's obvious if the mom has him around, then she's watching. That's her responsibility, not you. Now when you
this man around, like, you don't know how long she's been talking to this man. You don't know if she probably hadn't even been bringing this man around her daughters, like that. A couple months that they've been talking, and then she just finally just.
And let me tell you one thing. One thing about women, and this is the difference between men. Women actually think about bringing their children around certain people. And I'm telling you this in a general sense, generally speaking. Not talking about the ones that don't think, but I'm talking about the majority of women. Some mothers won't even let their children get in a car without a car seat if they driving with their grandma.
Right.
So that's what I'm telling you. A woman who's very, her mother instincts are secure and she's really caring for her children, she's going to think about the men that she brings around her children. And if her man is the new man in her life, finally seeing the children, 9 times out of 10, she's comfortable enough for her man to be around her children. That's one thing women don't do, introduce their women, their children, especially the girls, to men. I don't know how. Now, let me disclose you. I said women, not hoes. That's the difference, okay? My tea was spilled, okay? My tea was spilled. I said women, not hoes, okay? Because a hoe will introduce their child to every man, and that goes. And a hoe is not generalized between the sexes. A hoe could be a man and a hoe could be a woman. So only hoes introduce their children to everybody they bring. And also you got to protect that energy with them children. So protect your energy, protect your children, and watch who you bring around them and watch who's around them. Yeah, he should care, but the way he caring is like calling a pot kettle black because you done brought Amina around Tyra children. And you was going with Tyra, telling Tyra one thing and then going back to the media. Then went back to the media and then went back to Tyra and then secretly married Amina, having Tyra think she was going to be with you again. You a buster, son.
You know what it is? It's karma.
It's karma, and it came to bite you right now.
Bit you in both of your ass cheeks.
Boom, boom, and now he trying to run.
You can't get mad. Like, you can't get mad that this girl has a new boo. Like, who cares? Like, my thing is with that, it's like, I mean, if you do bring somebody around, that doesn't necessarily that he's meeting your children. Fuck, you could just be bringing them to your room, shut the door, lock the door, and go in there and do your business, do whatever you gotta do. He go about his way. Your children and him had no type of interaction until that parent feels like she is comfortable enough to doing that. I hate that thing where we have to come to some agreement just because we have children together that you have to approve.
Right.
You a man meeting our children.
But
that
men
don't go like that.
Men
don't do that. They just bring another woman around their children.
And then be like,
he just met the girl about 3 days ago, but she at the family function. She's meeting the children, the mama, the daddy, the grandma, the aunties, everybody.
The girl know his social security card was what he was born at, what hospital he came from.
Double standards.
And of course, double standards is coming next episode. We gonna hit y'all with that one, baby. We gonna hit y'all with all this because it started on heat wave from everything that is just double standards. We're gonna spill the tea. But what is going on with we talked about the city, but then now it's a hot boy summer. So they got some trending outfits out here for the hot boy summer. Please spill, please,
girl. So this is coming from the Shade Room, of course. Y'all trying to be city boys this summer with these mob tools and crop tops. So, ladies, we know y'all love matching your men's. So are y'all down to act up together in your matching crop tops this summer? The clothing company ASOS has released what people are calling mob tubes, as well as crop tops for men. And people don't know how to feel about it. Some are here for it, others are not. So ASOS describes these tops as reclaimed vintage, quote unquote. The various designs come in colors that range from black to neon green.
And if you want to see,
it, of course, just go on ASOS. And of course, this topic is also on the Shade Room as well. ASOS responded to people mocking their new tops by saying proudly breaking down fashion norms since 2000. Will Smith wore a crop top back in his Fresh Prince days, and Ezekiel Elliott slayed in his at the NFL draft a few years ago.
And also,
what do you think about this? Are you here for it? To me,
go ahead.
Crop tops are not bad. Like, I'm looking at it, I don't have a problem with the crop tops, but the one that I have a problem with is the one that it has no straps, and it's just like fitting around just fitting around the body. To me, that's something I wouldn't wear. I would not wear that one. But an actual crop top, I find nothing wrong with men wearing crop tops. It was a thing back in the 90s. Men wore that. Men wore tights back in the 90s. So it's like, these trends are just coming back in this new age. The crop tops, I don't have a problem with it, but that mob tube thing or whatever it is, I don't really too much care about that.
It's coming back in style. Bobby Brown wore those things in the 90s. Like, that's a 90s thing. That is definitely a 90s football player thing. Like, all the hottest football players wore that in the 90s. So I feel like now it's like people always want to associate sex behind it. Like, they always want to question a person's sexuality based on the clothes that they wear. And that has nothing to do with sexuality. Like, that has everything to do with fashion and what you want to wear and what you perceive to look cute on you, and it had nothing to do with that. But give us a little in a little sadder note. We lost a Disney star over the weekend. Sunday, we lost
Cameron Boyce. If you guys don't know who he is, he can be remembered for his role in Jessie. He played Luke, one of the children in that show. He also was in Disney's Descendants, all three movies. He was the descendant of, I want to say, Cruella DeVille. Yes, that's who he was the descendant of. So this comes straight from TMZ. Cameron Boyce suffered from epilepsy. So
I said that. I said that that's what it had to be. I said, because when they say he died in his sleep.
He died in his sleep. Saturday. He died in his sleep Saturday. He suffered from epilepsy. Not too much really to say about it. A lot of stars, took their outpour and expressed their condolences and how they felt on social media. I just feel, 20 years old, like, ooh.
That's sad.
And then it's crazy because, like, you don't really know, like, the personal lives behind these stars unless they really, really tell you. And I did not know that he suffered from that. Mm-hmm. And to be 20
But epilepsy is a serious thing. It's very serious, and it could take you out. Like, I witnessed how epilepsy could really affect your life and how fast it could affect your life. One time, I have a lot of stories I got a lot of stories to tell you. Like for everything, I have a story behind it. Cause like one time, a good friend of mine in high school, this was after Katrina when I was in, going to school out there in Texas. We all talking at the table, having a good time at lunch, doing my little rendition of fucking Yin Yang Twins at the bar. One of the Yin Yang Twins ain't got too many fingers on one hand. So I'm making everybody joke about that. And out of nowhere, when our friends just epilepsy seizure hit her quick, and she fell hard, hit her head hard on the ground, and it took like I wasn't shocked because my sister had seizures, so I knew what it was, but it happened so quick, and like it had everybody like shook up, scared, like we didn't know what to do, like because we laughing, we thinking, damn, Debbie, you had to go, that's a little bit too hard, huh? It was like it got to that point, and I was like, I hope it wasn't me making you laugh, right? But it just epilepsy could just come to you and hit you at any moment.
That it hit him in his sleep.
It is, but I heard that the most peaceful time for you to go is in your sleep.
Yeah, but I'm saying like in a sense that, if it didn't, he could possibly,
He probably didn't feel any pain. Because if he had it in his sleep, he would probably was in the midst of a dream. That's why I would want to think like that,
Yeah, but I'm just thinking in a sense that if he was, he would probably still be alive. I think if he was woke in him. That's the sense I'm saying.
See, just the thing about epilepsy, it can catch you while you woke and still take you out. Like, we have a good friend that suffers from that. I'll tell you a little about it after the show. But we have a good friend that suffers from it, and when it hits him, it hits him hard, and he's drenched in sweat, and he's out. Like, it take you out to where you physically can't do anything the next day, especially when you have hard ones. And I know, as far as my sister, when she have them, she is very quiet the next day. It takes me to make her laugh, and that's the only time she'll laugh is if I'm making her laugh. But still, it'll take you out either way if you up or not. But I would want to think of it in a peaceful note to where he was asleep and he was probably in the midst, and his body began to shut down while he was sleeping. I just want to think of it that way because he was a cute little kid. He was in a lot of Disney movies, a lot of Disney shows from the time he was a kid till 20. So
he has a lot of history in his family as well. I think it was his grandmother. She was one of the first kids to integrate schools.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember where it was, but I know
probably was in Ohio.
Me and one of our friends were talking about it the other day because I didn't know that I knew that he wasn't Caucasian. I thought he was like Hispanic, but he's actually.
He biracial.
Yeah, he's biracial.
His dad is black and his mama is I don't know what's mom, but I saw his a picture of him and his daddy on the talk when they was talking about it, and they were just sending their well wishes out to his family and stuff like that. But it's just so sad. It's really sad, and our hearts and our prayers go out to that young man's family and friends and stuff that really loved him. He was a good kid, so our condolences definitely for that. But give us one more little bit of tea to leave them with a little bit of tea.
Well, let's talk about
just a little bit.
ASAP Rocky thing that's been going on.
Oh Lord,
we can talk about that one.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
So, if you guys don't know,
free ASAP Rocky from the prisons of where he at Sweden, because we all know they ain't gonna be able to perm his hair right. He can't be locked up out there.
So apparently, basically, A$AP Rocky, of course, was he is in a Swedish jail due to some actions that he took during a concert. Correctly, because I didn't really get to read the article and whatnot. But what happened was he
got into an altercation outside of the event.
Because I didn't want to read the whole thing. But
okay.
Yeah, so, I mean,
so I know a little bit more about it to just summarize it up. He got into an altercation with somebody outside of an event. I don't know too much about what it was actually about because I saw the footage. I didn't necessarily get into what it was all about, but apparently
I can read some of it.
Okay, go ahead.
So A$AP Rocky is being held in a Swedish jail with shockingly humane conditions, fences hurdled about and not cleaned up, wrench food and facilities. No, I don't want to talk about that. I want to know what happened. What happened? So, as reported, A$AP Rocky is being held for 2 weeks while prosecutors decide whether to charge him for aggravated assault stemming from a street brawl, despite a video showing the alleged victim harassing and even physically attacking Rocky and his crew prior to the incident. There is a treaty, the Vienna Convention for Consular Relations, which both Sweden and the United States signed. Under the treaty, when a foreigner like A$AP Rocky is arrested, he has a right to immediately see an official from the U.S. consul.
Right.
Our sources say Rocky asked for a meeting, but when an official from the American consul arrived at the detention center to meet him, he was squarely denied access, a clear violation of the treaty.
Okay, so that's where we at, and that's why everybody's out here trying to get a petition signed for ASAP Rocky, because that is a part of a deal that they're now breaking. Okay, so now you want to arrest him for the assault that was caused by the person who got assaulted.
Right.
You didn't arrest the person who assaulted him first. You're arresting him because he's the celebrity. Let's keep it 100. You're arresting him because he's the celebrity. And then you want to renege on a treaty that the two states have and deny him his constitutional right. Well, it's not part of the Constitution, but the treaty right that states he have the right to access of the U.S. representative on the behalf of the U.S. to try to figure this out.
Right.
So let's keep it clear. If that was in U.S., guess who will be in jail? The same person. But he would be going home because they had then cleared the situation. Right now, they're just trying to hold him because he's the celebrity. Because him and his crew and all this, that's what they do out of the country. But then they turn around when we do it, like and I'm not talking, I don't want to make it sound like I'm against immigrants, but that's the same thing what we're doing as far as the immigrants. When you come here illegally and you're captured, that's what happens. You're captured and you're put into inhumane conditions because you came here breaking the law. So in their sense, he's in jail because he broke their law by assaulting somebody. But instead of them trying to get to the right, you still breaking the law as far as the treaty y'all have, because y'all preventing him access to be able to talk to his counsel. So you can have it squared away quickly. But we know why they holding him. He's being held same way like all celebrities get held, because he's a celebrity and they want to use him as an example of why we shouldn't let Americans, because Americans think they could come over here and beat our people up. It's just everything. But free ASAP Rocky because it's summertime and he can't be up in Singapore getting his hair messed up.
That's not Singapore.
I mean, Sweden. I put him all the way in another country.
He is so cute. Oh my God.
And homeboy edges is gonna dry up in them inhumane conditions. Right. So please free him back to the street.
My boy.
Free him. But today has been a good episode.
Of course.
It's always a good. But like we said before, if you want to voice your 401k on anything that we got to talk about, I just want to send us a little shout out. Follow us on Facebook at Yo What's the Word, and follow us on Instagram at Yo What's the Word. Also, if you're an artist out there and you want to submit your music, please submit your music to What's the Word 504 at gmail.com, and we're going to play your music on the airwaves. I had to say it in my New Orleans accent. I had to say it in my New Orleans accent, okay? Please submit your music to What's the Word 504 at gmail.com, all right? And we're going to play the music for y'all and just, have y'all vibing around with us when we talking and having y'all music play. So, just follow us on those social platforms, because we follow back. We are not like the average celebrity social media. We follow you back. You can follow us like for like, post for post. That's how we're gonna do it. But as always, it's been a pleasure. Shout out to everybody that's ever supported the show. Supporting me and Dijon and Sideburns, of course. Shout out to all the artists that have been fucking with us from day one. You want to give out a little shout out?
Yeah. Shout out to you. Shout out to Sideburns. Shout out to L and
for real. Shout out to L Fitter because he's a real nigga. Like shout out to Goldmine for that too.
Yes, Goldmine. Just shout out to everybody
that's
been riding with us. Like we gonna stick with this. Like we gonna do our thing.
We do it for you guys.
We do it for y'all. But yeah, that's it.
But so until next time, you already know what to do. What?
Period.